Happy anniversary, Gospel Light, and I have another amazing story for you today. I'm sitting here with Christina Lindley, but before she was Lindley, she was Christina Brown, a little girl. Tell us about that little girl.
So I was 8 years old, and there were two my friends in my neighborhood. We were actually selling candy bars for our school, and so we were knocking doors and, being as little kids are, just trying to get anybody to buy a candy bar. And these two men walk up, and they just so happen to be Pastor Eric and Bucky Robinson. And so we asked them, hey, would you like to buy a candy bar? And they said, we'll buy a candy bar if you come to church. And the rest is kind of history at this point.
Yeah, she came to church, and she kept coming to church, and she got saved and baptized, and then the second person came on the scene, which is her mom, who I love dearly, still a member of our church. Tell us about that story, because it's kind of cool.
So my mom had been saved at a Billy Graham crusade. I was probably like 2 years old, one that they had in Little Rock. And so she never really found a home church. And so I had asked her to come to church, and she's like, no, your sister's still little. And my dad wasn't saved at the time. And so they would just stay home with my sister. And I finally just literally got on my hands and knees in our kitchen floor and begged her to come to church. And so she actually rode the church bus with us. And then after that service, she's like, I will never ride the bus again. However, I will come to church at Gospel Light. And so from that day forward, she's came to Gospel Light ever since.
She still comes. And I love that story because I remember Brother Bucky had this famous little part of his program on the bus where he would say, you got to beg your parents to come.
Yes.
And you did.
Literally.
Yes. Then the cherry on the top of the cake was Dad, because Dad was lost. He wasn't saved. And Mom and Christina would ask me constantly, please invite Dad to come. Invite Dad to come. We want him to come to church, get saved. So tell us how that all kind of happened.
So my mom had kind of been talking to Pastor about, coming to see Dad and just talk to him about being saved. And so on Tuesday nights at that time, this is like the mid-90s, and so all the adults in the church would go visiting, and they would go knock doors or just go do special visits. And so that Tuesday night, September 1st, I think, my dad we told him, like, hey, Dad's going to be home, come over. And so Pastor knocked on the door, and they sat there in the living room, and they were talking, and Mom and I went to the back room with my sister, and we just started praying, just, for the Lord, just to, hey, this work on Dad's heart, let him accept you. And that night, my dad got saved, and my dad was all in from that day forward.
All in. In fact, Mark is a legend at Gospel Light. You had a great dad. He passed away, as we all know, a few years ago, and he's in heaven. We can't wait to see him again, but he was in charge of our baptistry setup,
Yes.
And he was one of my best friends, and I miss him so much. But Christina, thank you for being the catalyst that was behind an entire family. What a miracle, Gospel Light. From a little girl selling candy at 8 years old to a beautiful young lady teaching in the Christian school with her master's degree, teaching at Champion Christian College, her husband and her on staff. Happy anniversary, Gospel Light. Another life changed.